Hello, my name is Ana Doak and welcome to Nanay and I.
What's the topic for today, Nanay?
Today's video we are going to talk about 10 things every Filipino should know before flying to the US. So this time we're gonna go the other way around because in the last two videos that we did last week, it was mostly about coming to the Philippines. So this time I wanted to share again my perspective about things that I wish I knew before flying to the US. Although Alex gave me a Culture Shock USA book, it was not as, maybe I should read it. I should read that book again.
Yes.
I haven't seen the book though.
I recommend those books. There's a whole series, Culture Shock USA, Culture Shock Philippines. It's really interesting to read about your own culture from the perspective of somebody else. So I really like reading those books, in particular about the USA, even more so than the Philippines.
Before we start, I just wanted to encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button. We are a Filipino-American couple who have 10 children, and we are based here in the Philippines, specifically in San Francisco, Agusan del Sur. So if you want to get updated of our family, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit also the notification bell so you will be updated of our videos here at Nanay and I. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, so let's start. 10 things every Filipino should know before flying to the US. Number 1, US has 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I really think, I mean, of course, I knew before I went to the US, that like there are 4 seasons in the US compared to my country who only has 2 seasons, wet and dry. But I really wasn't prepared for what I was about to experience. Like really.
I think it's very interesting how much your day-to-day activities, your whole life, changes based on the seasons.
Yes.
The things you can do every day or every week, the plans you make have to be built around the weather, right? Around the temperature.
Yes.
It takes longer to do certain things when it's cold or when it's really hot. You have to stay out of the sun. So you really have to take that into account. In the Philippines, not so much. It's just always the same temperature, like all the time, They're afraid of rain, right? So if you don't want to get wet, then you do things differently. But rain in the U.S. isn't really like a season. Over here, they have rain as a season.
Yeah, it rains more though during springtime.
Well, yeah, it can't rain in the winter. If it's cold enough, it's just going to snow. So
Yeah, but then it's dangerous if it rains in the winter.
Yeah.
Because then, But anyway, the reason I said about the thing, I remember before I fly to the US, I would always complain that I'm super cold. Because I always get these cold limbs, and I feel like I'm always like I have that hypothermia experience, like especially back in MSU. Mindanao State University, the university I went for college is up in a higher elevation, so it's always cold, and there's always
like 70 degrees Fahrenheit or something.
Yeah, and then there's like fog, even during noontime, there's like fog, and then I would always remember like I'm always cold, and then Alex would tell me, imagine like in that situation, in that weather condition right now, imagine holding blocks of ice in your hand.
Ice cubes,
yeah. And then you said, yeah, imagine, and that would be the warmest you ever feel.
Yeah, what I would say is the ice cubes you're holding in your hand are warmer than the warmest day during the winter, right?
Yes.
When it's below freezing, it gets down to, like during the day, it might get up to 20 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Fahrenheit is a high for the day. And it's much, much colder than a block of ice or an ice cube.
So, please also remember, I just also want to clarify this one. I went to Wisconsin. So I got there in the spring. So it was really cold. I remember our wedding day to be very cold, but it wasn't like so very cold for me. Like it was like, okay, yeah, okay, this is cold. But I noticed that the trees were dead.
Dead, yeah. No leaves, so they're all dead, right?
I remember while traveling in Chicago, and I just remember Chicago to Wisconsin to Milwaukee. I just remember like all the roads and it's like, this place is so
Gloomy,
like, gloomy,
right?
and this is so sad. Why are all the trees dead? And then here comes mid-spring, and then you can already see all the leaves coming out, and I just enjoyed. Then summer came and it was kind of hot, but I enjoyed it. And then the fall was just like so beautiful, like really, like I felt like I've only seen that in magazines, those pictures, you've seen about fall, you've seen that only in the magazine, but then when you are actually in it, it was just like so beautiful. But then here comes winter in Wisconsin. And it was the first on the record at that time, the whole year it got 103 inches of snow total, and it was one of the record for Wisconsin. Like
it's like a 100-year record or something. I don't know. It was long.
Because the most of that was 112.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like really like a record. So the first I remember the day of my birthday, September 10th. It snowed a little bit, just a little bit, not really that much. But then in November, it was really like, okay, this is snow. So I went out with his nephew outside and just started building a snowman. And I was pregnant at that time, so I have a built-in heater. But then, that every day, it would you might only have one day where it would not snow, but then it will snow again. And at first it was so fun, but then later, it's snowing again. But I just want to share that experience. No, but nothing prepared me for that experience, but it was really like a good, fun memory for me. Yeah. Number 2. Wanna read it, Ty?
Yeah. The U.S. entry requires a visa, unlike the Philippines.
Yes.
So you do need paperwork to get into the U.S. as a Filipino.
So you need to contact the immigration
What are some of the most
service.
common visas? There's a tourist visa, fiance visa,
working student,
a student visa, work visa.
Yeah. So you can always go to the USCIS. Anyway, number 3. Oh, this is like I'm just comparing this to my country. Okay, I wish I knew about this. Okay. Asking your neighbor for a certain kitchen ingredient is usually a taboo.
Yeah, so it's not super common that your neighbor in the U.S. will come over and ask you for ingredients.
Yeah.
It does happen more so in certain, communities than others. I remember growing up in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, that we would do that from time to time. We would go to the neighbor's house and ask for a cup of sugar or something.
But not often.
Not often, and less as the years went by. Because there's convenience stores, and you can just, it's usually sometimes within walking distance or a 5-minute drive to go pick something up. So
well, for me, I grew up like all the time. Either our neighbors would come to us or we will come to our neighbor, and it's like, do you happen to have soy sauce? Because we're out of soy sauce. Can we ask for soy sauce? Just a tablespoon. or you're making your coffee and you just need a teaspoon of sugar, and you go to your neighbor bringing your cup of coffee, and you just really scoop out from their glass.
And that would probably be like a weekly occurrence, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
and it's
so
just like
common. Or sometimes you could go to your neighbor and maybe you could get like 2 cups of rice. And then when I went to the US, oh my goodness, we have a neighbor across street. I only saw them when they would, go grocery shopping, and then they would park their vehicle, and then they would bring in groceries in and out of their house, and that's it. I don't get to see them.
Yeah, neighbor interactions are pretty rare.
Yes, because it's like, and I remember even across our street also, there is a house that has apple trees. And then I was pregnant at the time with baby Alex, and I really wanted some apples. And then over here we have a like a what do you call this one, like a what do you call that one, a myth, a myth that if a pregnant lady will ask fruit from a fruit tree, from a living fruit tree, that fruit tree will die. So
If they don't give it.
yeah, if they don't give it.
Yeah.
And so I was asking our neighbor, can I have some apples? Of course, I would expect our neighbor to say really no, because the apples were still like really small. But I just really want to take a bite of the apple. Like I just really, really want to take a bite of the apple. And then of course she said no. And in my mind I felt like, your apple's gonna die. Anyway, that's just like me. Anyway, number 4. Each state will have their own policy. Yeah, so each state will have their own policy. Like one state could implement
Certain
heavily,
laws about guns.
yeah, or one state could implement heavily on tax, while the other, where the next, country next to it will have no tax. Like I remember traveling in crossing Indiana and Kentucky, and then we need to fill up our gas tank here because they don't pay tax. They don't have taxes over here. Because once you cross the border next to the state, you pay more when you get gas because they have extra taxes like that. Or one state could be it could be illegal to sell fireworks. So you go. I remember like you would go to Illinois, to get some fireworks, for 4th of July.
Right.
Because it's illegal to sell fireworks in Wisconsin, but you can buy them in Illinois, like something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Right.
Yeah, so my point there is like, the state where you're gonna go to, for specific, laws and policies, because you just never know. Yeah. Number 5, everything is spread out. This is really like
Driving is required.
Yeah.
In most communities.
Yeah.
The whole cities, everything is designed assuming everybody's going to be traveling around in a vehicle. There are some exceptions in really dense, like New York
or Chicago,
or maybe some parts of Chicago. But even then, I mean, the streets are how you get around. On cars.
Yes, and then remember that.
And the streets are for cars. That's another point. Is over here, the streets are for people. The streets are for bicycles. The streets are for Carabao. You will find all manner of everything in the streets here. But in the U.S., streets are for cars.
Yeah. And there's a sidewalk where people will be walking if ever, there's people going to be walking. There's also a biker's lane.
Yeah, there's sometimes a biker's lane. I mean, technically, bikes can drive in traffic.
Yeah.
Like the laws in the U.S. are mostly very supportive of bicyclists. But, culturally speaking, you're not supposed to be on foot in the road.
Yeah, like
at all.
Especially for us Filipinos, we're so used to, we go to grocery shopping and we could just get in a tricycle or go on a public transportation and easily you can go around town. But in the US, it's not like that. That's why we said that before, how driving is really like a must. Like you really need to know how to drive in order for you to get around, the area. So this is one regret that I did. This is one regret that I had. Like I wish I really was so eager on driving way before I went to the US. So now it's like, I need to drive. I really need to drive.
But you don't. But you can. You can learn.
Yeah.
You're learning stick a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And I really wanted to continue that. But anyway, next, number 6. America is big into sports. Like big. Good. Well, my husband is not a sports, person thing. He doesn't like sports, which is why we don't own a big television. Now we watch NFL. I don't know. My point there is
NFL is big.
Yes.
Football. American football. Baseball is big.
Yes.
Basketball is also big. Yeah.
Yes. So, but they're really into sports. Like like every Sunday they really like to hang out, and watch their sports. So they're into that. And then I even remember some churches will host a Super Bowl chili party
Yeah.
at their church, so all the members will go to the church and have this like big Super Bowl event. Like it was like a common thing. And I mean, Philippines is big into basketball, but I don't see that, like really that, very as much as
Yeah, maybe some boxing events.
oh yeah, some boxing. Yeah, like if Manny Pacquiao will have a boxing event, they would rent a whole stadium just so we could have a television in that stadium, and then everybody could watch the fight of Manny Pacquiao.
That's more like a single event.
Yeah,
America has like every week. There's always some sporting event.
Something going on with sports.
Almost every day.
Number 7. Oh, this one. Okay. Number 7. Big servings of food. Every time you go at a restaurant, like big servings of food.
Yeah, they give you enough food to get full.
Yes.
Unlike the Philippines,
Okay.
you have to order 3 of everything in order to get full in the
Yeah.
Philippines. You really do.
Yeah.
Or just order, just the servings are so small here.
Yes, I remember Alex would always comment on when he first came here, and the second time he came here, I would get like this small burger, and I was like, oh boy, I'm so full, and Alex would be like, that's just a snack, like that's not and then I went to the US. I remember on our honeymoon we would go out, and eat, and it's just like they would give me a platter.
Chipotle, yeah,
Yeah.
the burritos.
Yeah, or a
everything's
platter of
big.
spaghetti, and it's like
Yeah.
this will feed the entire barangay. I can't believe this is all to me. Like it's like that, like big servings of food, and then at first it took me a while. Like I will always have leftover. Because I am not used to those big servings of food. But then after I gave birth and I was breastfeeding, boy, oh boy, I could eat more.
And sometimes you can order small stuff if you can order like a child size or a small or
kiddie,
something.
yeah, the
You can
kiddie,
do stuff
yeah.
like that, yeah.
But anyway, so that's it. You prepare for big servings of food.
I think I found, like in the US, it seems like it's more common to have different serving sizes. In the Philippines, they don't have like a small, medium, large. It's usually just like
Really big. I mean small. Very small.
everything is small, yeah.
Yeah, everything is small. Number 8. Vacation is more common compared to Philippines. I'm talking here like family vacations. Like I remember while I was in the US, I remember family would really have like a dedicated time to go to Disney.
Maybe each year.
Yeah, each year. And it was like, it would be like a recurring event every single year.
Yeah, or
you
twice
know?
a year or
Yeah.
whatever. They do it on a regular basis.
Yeah, or
Hey,
like-
let's have a family vacation.
Yeah, or even visiting grandparents. Like if the family live out of state, from a different state, they have to travel just to see their family from a different state. I wasn't like that. For me, that was not my upbringing. Like I don't get to see my grandma all the time. I don't like that. Like
Yeah.
again, yeah. I like even at our church. I remember. We're going to like the Florida beach because this blah 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 blah. And then the following year they're going again to Florida. Like it's like more. Like they have established a vacation time. That's it. Established vacation time. I felt like, right? Am I
Sure.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that, but most families, yeah.
Yes, like because most people there are middle class. I feel like most people there are middle class compared to here.
Well, compared to here, everybody's
That's what I'm
middle
saying.
class.
I'm comparing it to here.
Compared to here, everybody in the U.S. is
Upper class.
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
Number 9, good customer service. If you are from the Philippines, in the US, everything is good. Am I right?
Yeah, they're a little bit more deliberate about going out of their way to make sure people who are buying from businesses are happy.
Yeah.
They spend more resources on designing customer experiences and just putting thought and attention to exceeding expectations.
Yes.
And what customers need to go through when they're interacting. So
Just
Yeah.
just the idea of the receipt, like where you can return things. If you have a receipt up to 90 days, you can return the item, right? Or even if you don't have the receipt.
Most retail places, almost every
even-
retail place will let you return stuff
Yeah.
if you have the receipt within
And ev-
certain time
And
frame.
even if you
and all
don't have
that.
the receipt, they can have a in-store credit.
In-store credit is
Yeah.
common.
Yeah, but in the Philippines, no. There's no such thing as you can return an item if you don't like it. I mean, if it's broken or something, it's so rare that stores will accept, the
Yeah.
item that you return.
You know what they do is while you're at the store,
Oh, yeah.
they'll take your power tool out of its box and plug it in and run it
Yeah, in front of you.
right in front of you. Hey, look, it worked.
Yeah.
Or they'll open up a flashlight, put batteries in, and turn it on. Hey, see, it works.
Yeah. Or the light bulbs, they will,
Yeah,
put
they'll
it in
literally
the socket.
every single light bulb you try to buy from any store, they'll like pull it out and plug it into a little socket and be like, "See, it works." And it's like really bizarre. Like in the U.S., it never ever happens. Nobody's ever gonna open your package
Yeah.
and plug it in and demonstrate
Yeah.
that it works. What are you thinking?
Yeah, or
Because
sometimes.
there's usually a return window. I mean, the worst case scenario, it's like a 7-day return window.
Yeah.
Usually it's 30 days or
30
even
days.
longer.
Yeah.
So you just go home, use it. If it doesn't work, bring it back. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
eh.
Like, but here, no.
And the failure rate is so low.
Yeah.
Like you buy something in the U.S., it just works.
Yeah.
But over here, I suppose it's considerably higher. Where
Yeah.
sometimes you buy a flashlight, it just won't ever turn on. Brand new from the store, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. So yeah, I really miss that. Number 10. Surprise visit is not okay. Okay, so okay. Yeah, so surprise visit is not okay. I will really remember, my first year in the US, I really love to connect because I feel so lonely at our apartment. So when he gets home from work, or if he gets home from work early enough, I would really ask him, "Hey, can we go visit your mom? Hey, can we go visit your sister? Hey," and it's like, hold on, let me first give them a phone call. So in my mind, like, why does he not?
Yeah,
he need to
you have
make
to
a
call
phone
your
call?
family
Yeah, like
before you go visit them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, no, can we just go? Can we just go? And it's like,
No.
yeah, so even his immediate family, a family like his mom, his sisters, we have to make a phone call before coming over to their house, And it wasn't like, okay, like
Because
unlike
you don't
here.
know what they're doing.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
They
yeah.
might have plans for that day.
Yeah.
Even if they're in their home,
Yes.
they're like, "Oh no, they're going to do something. They're going to do homeschooling or something." You don't want to crash their plans, right?
Yes.
You got to
It's
let
always
them know
plan
and
out.
plan it ahead a
Yeah.
day or two in advance.
Yes.
And ask them, "Hey, does this work for you?" And you
Yeah.
schedule it.
Yes.
And I mean, likewise, if I was going over to somebody's house and they were busy and they couldn't like accommodate
Yeah.
me or talk to me or whatever, I would have wasted my time.
Yes.
I don't want to go somewhere just to have the person ignore me because they're busy. I'll call them, find out what they're doing.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then also if like you have someone who wanted to hang out with you, you really like make the schedule. Like, "Hey Anna, can I come over to your house? Can we have a play date? Like her children and my children will play together." And sure. What time? What day? And it's like, yeah, definitely that they will show up in the exact time, that exact day. And then one thing also I notice is if they will come over to my house, they will also bring food to bring to feed their children. Like I felt like I wasn't obliged to as a host to feed them.
Oh, well, in the U.S., there's
Unlike
not an
over here.
in the Philippines, there's an expectation wherever you go, you should get fed. But in the U.S., it's not like that.
Yeah.
If you go over to somebody's house, don't expect food. They're not
Yeah.
going to feed you.
So to my friends who would come to my house.
Unless you discuss that in advance and you say,
Yes.
"Okay, I'm going over to your house for dinner to
yeah.
eat." That's okay too. But
Yeah.
you got to talk about it in advance.
In advance.
And usually,
Instead of- never
usually you'd like
surprise.
bring something, bring a dish to
Yeah.
pass or whatever,
Yeah.
help out.
Yeah. So to my friends who would come to my house and I don't feed you, that's where
Where she gets it.
Where I get it. Like I feel like I'm not obliged, especially if it's a surprise visit. You know, that's, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, like in the U.S., it'd be rude if you go over to somebody's house
Oh.
expecting to be fed.
yeah.
No,
and,
you don't-
and also I felt like it's also rude in the US to come to their place during a meal time.
Yeah, during mealtime, yeah.
Like you don't go to someone's house during dinner time.
Right.
It's just like really rude, and then you would eat their food. That's totally rude. And yeah, so anyway, that's it, Tay, right, Tay?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's it. So I hope you enjoy and learn something new again today watching this video.
Keep in mind, America's a pretty big place.
Yeah.
I'm from the Midwest, okay?
Yeah, that's
Cultures are different on the East Coast, West Coast, and the South. Especially in the South, people are more open and inviting.
Oh
I
yes,
think, you
yes,
know,
yes,
but,
yes. Because we live in the DC. We know
Yeah.
we know the feeling, of being with Southerners compared with Yankee. And we went also to Washington DC, where people are very. I could get away with that. Anyway, so yes, guys, thank you so much for watching our vlog for today. I hope you enjoy it. And then yeah, maybe after this video, we will pause with this kind of video, and then we will resume to family events again. Yeah, it's just like nice, like I get messages from people how much they learn watching this video, this type of content. But I also miss really like capturing moments of the family.
Action.
Action, yeah, with the whole gang, and yeah, so we probably will resume to that, sooner, because it's just like, yeah, again, like I miss, doing things with the children. Yeah, so guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you'll get updated of all videos of Nanay and I. We really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.